Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of the Osasu Show. Last week we brought to you the first part of this interview with the Deputy Governor of Edo State, who also doubles as the Chairman, Technical Committee on COVID-19 in the state. He spoke to us about the fight against coronavirus and how he has spent over R1 billion thus far in containing the virus. He gave us the breakdown of those figures and we checked it out and we saw that these facilities actually exist. On today's episode, we'll be focusing on politics. We'll be speaking to them about the slated gubernatorial elections for September 19th, 2020. How prepared is the state government for these elections? And what are their plans to reel in the detractors in their camp? Don't go anywhere. It promises to be a very insightful episode. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Honorable Philip Shaibu, welcome to today's program.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. As we know, the Independent National Electoral Commission has set September 19th, 2020 as D-Day for the gubernatorial elections in Edo State. As of today, your party, the All Progressive Congress, has two factional chairmen. Do you see a reoccurrence of what happened in Zamfara and Rivers State happening in Edo State, given the situation right now that you guys find yourself in the same predicament, where you have two individuals posing themselves as the authentic chairman of the State All Progressives Congress?
Yeah, as far as politics is concerned, we this period decided to be silent on politics because the life of our people are critical to us, and we don't want to be distracted with the politics. And that is why even the palliative things we distributed was distributed across party line. There was no PDP, APC. It was all distributed to everybody, and all the parties were involved, civil society, religious bodies, traditional ruler, all involved. And the government had to take a backstage to just supervise what they were doing. Why? Because we want to completely focus on COVID. But the issue of politics we deal with itself because we don't know who will be alive when the election will take place. This disease is real, and all of us are vulnerable. You can see kings, governors, term ministers are all being affected. So for us, the governor and us, we decided that politics should take the backstage now. But when the time to play the politics comes, and if God spare our life, we are alive, we will deal with the issue. Chairman or no chairman, we have the constitution that guides the party is clear. And we know that as we speak today, Ashley Joshua is the chairman of All Progressive Congress Edo State. And we also know that Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole is having, as far as Edo State is concerned, is been suspended from the party. But the court has asked that he can function pending when the issues before it is determined. So we are waiting for the court to determine whether he can continue to hold office even when his ward has suspended him. So for us, these are issues of the future. And the president, in his wisdom, came in the last time to resolve. We pray that at the end of the day, we all return back as one big family. But it's very unfortunate to see a father of the house being the one by himself, leading destruction of his own house. But all the same, we never expected that there would be COVID. There will be a virus called coronavirus now. And we never expected the whole world would just stand still because of coronavirus. So wonders will never end. And it's becoming history that it is possible for a father to attempt to destroy a house he built. But fortunately, in this house, there are very, 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 very good students of history. There are students that have learned from their father, and they are ready to protect the property that they jointly built. And the father may end up being the only one that will be locked out of this home if he does not behave like a father. So for us as children, we have learned never to run when there's trouble. We don't look for trouble, but when trouble comes, we don't run away. That is how we were trained. And we'll wait and pray that the trouble never comes. Because when the trouble comes, we are rugged and dogged and waiting.
I'm glad you mentioned that as children of of Comrade Adams Oshomole, you are good students of history, because as you know, the popular saying goes, those who don't learn from history are bound to repeat it. You've seen what happened in Zamfara, where the APC had put up two candidates. There was a faction in the party, and the two chairmen brought up two candidates. Their elections were annulled by the Supreme Court. You saw what happened in Rivers, where the Rivers APC had also brought up two candidates, and their elections was also annulled by the Supreme Court, giving way for the PDP to sweep to victory. So don't you see a reoccurrence of that happening in Edo State if you are not able to nip this in the bud, no matter what it takes?
I can assure you, Osasu, that what happens in Zamfara cannot happen in Edo State, because we, like I said, we play the game by the rules. We will not play the game without the rules. We follow the rules strictly, and everything that we do in Edo is guided by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and anything we do in the party is guided by the Constitution of the APC. I can assure you, Osasu, that Edo will not have a repeat of Zamfara. Neither will he have a repeat of Bayelsa. We will have our election by the grace of God in Edo, and Governor Obaseki and I, by the grace of God, will get our second term, because history is there. History is there that you cannot truncate a moving train that is moving at a speed of development like the one we're having. It's not done. And when you look at Edo today, all our models in terms of things that we have put in place are models that other states and even the country is also adopting. That is because we think through all our policies. We don't know it all, but we collaborate with other government agencies, other state, federal government. We are keyed into federal government programs, and we are able to tap from it for the benefit of our people. So what we are doing simply is to take governance to a level where our children will have hope tomorrow. Our children will have life that they are supposed to live it full. We are dealing with the issue of education. We are dealing with the issue of infrastructure. We are dealing with the mindset that have been created in the past of people believing that miracles will meet you at home as against going out to seek for this miracle. We are creating all that mindset. We are creating a new mindset from people believing in themselves. Edo people are very, very proud people. An Edo man or Edo woman will not want to be the one going to ask for harm. He would like to be the one giving the harm. So we want to return that past glory and change it to the real Edo man. And I can tell you, Osasu, you know that you are an Edo person. You know that we pride ourselves as people of Edo. And when we say, I am an Edo man, that means you are a superhuman being. And how do you become a superhuman being is you dictate the pace. Wherever you are, you be the number one. And that is what we want to return Edo to in terms of education, in terms of sport, in terms of structure, in terms of thinking. Just name it. I just want to return Edo State. So we believe in it. We strongly believe in it. We saw somebody that believed in our vision, and we keyed it in. We keyed it in, and this person led us to fighting certain people we regretted fighting today. And at the end of the day, not knowing that he wanted that just to be a new godfather. And today we are saying no. We have abolished godfatherism. We have said that every Edo child has the capacity to live his dream without one man dictating the pace in the state. So if he that led us to say no one man can determine the destiny of any child in our state, now want to determine the destiny of others, then it's an aberration. And that is what we are saying, that we are students of history. I am a fast learner, and I learned very well. I learned that a child of nobody can become somebody without one man dictating who he is. And if I have learned that from Comrade Adams Oshomole, he cannot now tell me that without him, I cannot be what I want to be. We have Godwin Obaseki that has brought his 32 years of corporate financing into governance. And we are having a whole turnaround in terms of how we manage our things, in terms of governance structure. The structure we are building in Edo now is a structure that I've always loved and I've always fought for. We now build institutions. We don't build individuals.
There's a political saying that you must carry along your constituents and all your supporters in order to thrive and succeed in politics. The chief of staff to the governor has recently resigned, and claims making the rounds on social media is that he felt he wasn't carried along, that yourself, the SSG, and the governor had shut him out. Is there any truth to this? And how do you feel that your team is crumbling before your eyes?
I would not want to speak on speculation because that young man has been one of these young men that have always followed me in terms of politics. He was one of I mobilized him to Bauchi when I was contesting for Nance president when we were in the university. He was one of those delegates that came to vote for me in Bauchi when I was contesting for the Nance president in 2000. So I've known him for a long time. So I will not want to speculate. I will not want to speak on speculation, but it was surprising to hear that he wanted to resign. And I didn't see it coming, and it has come. We have moved on. You see, that is the beauty of democracy. Democracy is when you're able to express yourself fully. Another young man I've taken over as the chief of staff, a 38-year-old boy, is one of those boys too that we're all in the trenches, and the boy is very active, very intelligent, and the young is intelligent academically, is a very sound youth mobilizer in Obia Southwest. So the good news is that we, the young ones, are still in the system, and we are bringing younger ones. So today we have the youngest chief of staff in Nigeria as the chief of staff to the governor.
But is there any truth to the accusation that yourself, the SSG, and the governor are not carrying along your other political associates? Is there any truth to that?
I don't know what is carrying along. What we do is that everybody functions by the duties that is given to him. The governor is the governor of Edo State. And beyond, apart from the governor and I that are elected, every other person is an appointee. And I can tell you that we have a governor that allows to tell him what it is. We argue, we debate, and at the end of the day, sometimes his opinion we are not carried when such debates start. And he's somebody that listens, he's somebody that is ready to engage you, and he's somebody that is ready to allow superior argument to have his way. And that is why we've been able to move as fast as we are. And there are a lot of things that, for instance, in Edo State, really, we have a governor that he can be sitting and say, Deputy, I want you to go and head Sosolo committee. I'm supposed to be the one heading it. Go and head it and coordinate it. And he just call you and test if you can hold it. So it's your business now to be able to know that how to handle such thing. And if somebody that also invests in training, we go almost every quarter, we have training. And why do we have this training? For you to consummate the policy of government, so that at any point in time you are called to do certain functions. You are not going there to be confused. So everybody, as far as governance of Edo State is concerned, understand the policy. And that is why we train and we train. We hold different programs for us to understand where government direction is going. And that is why you can call any of us at any time to handle any issue, and without fear and without panic, we'll go and handle it. And that's how we'll be functioning. So when it comes to SSG is doing his role as SSG. Chief of Staff was doing his role as Chief of Staff. And I, as Deputy Governor, I have been doing mine as Deputy Governor. And don't forget that I am inspector by my own position. And wherever I'm asked to go, that is where I go. The only provision that is constitutional about my office is boundary committee. The constitution gives me direct power to handle. Every other thing is at the mercy of the governor. But like I said, the good news is that this governor does not just look beyond the constitution and say, look, this is our government. This is not Godwin Obaseki's government. This is our government. And this is my vision. He is the head of the government. He is direct. He is the one, he is the vision bearer, and he is the one that leads that vision. And that is why he introduced quarterly training and different type of workshops that make us all key in and understand the direction of government. So if the issue of governor, SSG, and deputy governor, it would be strange because the chief of staff was always part of all our meetings and we take decisions together. There's no decision we are taking in government that is not part of. The governor will not take a decision alone. He must call us to meetings. And chief of staff was always in all there's no meeting we have had that is not part of. So I just believe that must be a social media discussion.
I see. And also I see the State Security Service was alleged to have raided his home and arraigned some of his personal assistants. Is there any truth to this? And is the Edo State government involved in this in any manner?
Arrest his personal assistant? For what? No.
So you're not aware of the SSS raid on the house of the former Chief of Staff to the Edo State governor? He called me. Taiwo called me and told me that there was a raid, and I found out, and there was nothing like that. Interesting. Finally, Your Excellency, you were the front coordinator of the sports festival, the National Sports Festival predicted to take place in Edo State. We saw a lot of planning going into that. We saw how you spoke so passionately about your plans to host the entire nation and our neighboring countries in Edo State for the sports festival. But given the coronavirus pandemic that no one expected, it was postponed. Can you tell us more about the future plans of this sports festival? Will it still hold? And do you have any idea of when it will hold?
Well, I was very passionate about the sports festival because we've invested a lot of money on facilities, and we were ready to kickstart a new whole life cycle of sporting, not only in Edo State but in the country. And don't forget, our pride was to restart the National Sports Festival in terms of how states will take ownership and host. Don't forget that also that apart from the last one that took place in Abuja, it's been long that State hosted this tournament. So for us, it was we are going to set a new pace on how this tournament will be hosted, knowing fully well that these games are organized to cement and continue to bridge the oneness and the unity of the country and to maintain peace in the country. That is the essence of the tournament. So we were really interested beyond the facility to redefine the one Nigerian call and generate new spirit in sporting activity. And we were also going to use it to relaunch our Edo State sporting activity. Don't forget that we have decided that Edo will be number one sporting destination again in Nigeria, as it used to be during Samuel Omulia's era. And you remember that Edo has always been number one. And the last time we hosted this tournament was during Lucky Canadian era, where Edo hosted and won. And since then, issue of sports has been zero in Edo. Edo has been taking back stage. So we decided that we bring it back to the front burner and become a factory where athletes are produced for the country. We discovered that it's because Edo have not been producing the right players for the country, because when Edo stopped, that is when this calculation thing started. When Edo was still very active, you saw that was the first time we won the FIFA Under-17 Kodak Cup, where out of 22 players, Edo had 11 in that team. And those 11 were major players, including the coach, Sebastian Bodrick. Remember, and don't forget that during the time Edo was active, we were number one in weightlifting, we were number one in boxing, we were number one in gymnastics, we were in front of field and track event, we were there. Swimming, we were there. So, National Sports Festival for us was to showcase the return of the native, that Edo is back to life, and Edo is ready to produce the athletes that will make Nigeria to be proud of Nigeria each time we go for international engagement, whether all African Games, Commonwealth Games, Olympics, FIFA organized tournament, that Edo is back, and that means Nigeria is back because we have the raw talent here.
So do you have an idea when the festival will be would take place now? Yeah.
I think the coronavirus will determine the time, really. Okay. Because it was because of coronavirus that this game was suspended. But we are hopeful that if the curve is flattened, we are going, by the grace of God, we might still have it before the end of the year. But either way, we pray for the best. But one good thing is that we are ready to host Nigeria, and the world will be focused in Edo. The state-of-the-art facility we have built in the state is what we are ready to really showcase. We are returning back all sports, including Ogbe High Court. We used to have a long tennis event that was in the international front burner. Is back. We now have the first ever gymnastic hall in the entire West Africa. Only one of such is in Africa, and that is in Egypt. The Edo has the second one in Africa. And for us, we are ready. We are ready to reclaim our mandate, and that mandate is to make Edo number one sporting destination.
Honorable Philip Shaibu, Deputy Governor.
Don't forget, I'm also a footballer. I'm playing for the state in the tournament.
We look forward to that, Your Excellency. Honorable Philip Shaibu, Deputy Governor of Edo State, thank you so much for your time on today's program, and we wish all the good people of Edo State a safe quarantine. That's it for today's episode. Don't forget to follow us on social media at The Osasu Show, at TOS TV Network, at Osasu Igbenedion, and at The Osasu Show Foundation on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Don't forget, yes, the lockdown may have been relaxed, but please do not go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Take good precautions and hygiene measures when you're going out. Wear your face mask, wash your hands as frequently as possible, and stay at least 6 feet away from your neighbor. I'll see you same time, same place, still in my home next week. And until then, take very good care of yourself. God bless you.